Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is your boy Kamish Moolah back with another one, man. We are here live at Moolah Verse Live, the podcast here for the college series, man. How y'all feeling? Let me get a sound check. Is the music too loud? Am I too loud? Is everything? Talk to me, guys. It's been a very eventful week 6. You know how we do. We gonna get into the Madden franchise tool, and we gonna do some things, man. We gonna look through the league leaders. We gonna review some games quickly. Nothing too crazy. We just gonna review. I'm gonna look over the schedule, talk about some games, probably dig into a few of them based on like what I can remember happened, and we could check out the stats of those games as well. We also got a week 7 prediction. Where we basically gonna go look at the schedule for week 7. We gonna make our predictions. Well, I'll make my predictions, and then y'all can see how accurate I am by the end of this week. We haven't really been tracking how accurate my predictions have been, but as a little mini game, we can start tracking my predictions. And if I get less than, less than a quarter right, then y'all all get SC. I think that'll be fire. You know what I'm saying? I think I think giving y'all less than a quarter, if I get less than a quarter, giving y'all all a certain amount of SC would be fair. I think that'll be a dope little incentive. Yes, as you can see, I'll be throwing something at the bottom of the chat as like a little headline, but it's definitely gonna be hashtag salute in the chat, man. That's like the theme of this podcast right here, man. Today for the week only. But it's been a lot of things going on in the simulation world. The simulation world is a bit crazy, man. It's a bit tough. It's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes in this small community of simulation play. When we mean simulation, we're talking AI versus AI. I know some using Madden guys are used to calling it simulation or competitive and stuff too, but when we talk about simulation in this setting, we mean AI versus AI, man. And you would think that in a place where it's more strategic, mind-based, and not really based on player versus player outcome, that it wouldn't be as heated as the environment actually is. Guys will tell you, man, when you come into this AI versus AI setting, whether you're a coach, whether you're a player, guys really do get in a bag. Like, guys take things to the heart. Guys get salty over fierce competitors, man. So that's why I had to go with the salute in the chat, man. I just want to let you guys know, no matter what, man, I'm always grinding to be the best, always trying to grind to the top. Pardon me if I rub a few guys wrong. In my coaching days, I'm a fierce competitor. I'm Mamba mentality. I don't care about your feelings. Whether it's a game or not, this game is giving us extra income. This game is changing people's lives. We got content creators making millions of dollars, streamers making millions of dollars. This ain't a game, you know what I'm saying? I'm 26 years old, for me, I'm not no old head. So to me, it's like, it's a game, but from a business standpoint, from a competitive standpoint, it's not nothing to play with for me. So I go hard and I make it happen, man. Some guys can't take that. And it's understandable. Let me get my music back real quick. And it's understandable, but I'm never gonna let them stop my shine, man. They tried to box me out each and every way. Went 12-1 in the RFL. They got mad. They kicked me out the RFL after that. Well, they didn't kick me out. They told me I had to go back to being a player. I didn't want to do that. I left. Built my own platform, and it's thanks to you guys that the Moolahverse is what it is today. And how fitting that you can't stop greatness. You can't stop greatness. How fitting that these guys speak it into my reality every time. I'm a bit of a personality, if you will. And that's what I embrace in my community, man. Come be yourself. Come be a competitor. Come take your game to the top here in the Moolahverse. We never gonna judge you for it. We never gonna make you feel a way about it. We never gonna outcast you or exile you. We have a respectable community, but when it comes to conversation and competition, I'm not here to police nobody. If it's kids around, chill. Dial it back. Don't be unnecessary. But we all grown. If we in the VC chopping it up and words is flying, as long as nobody's personally attacked or being hurt, it's all fair in love and war. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to talk y'all guys heads off, man. We're gonna get into this podcast and we're gonna start off with them game reviews, man. So I'm gonna take my face off the screen and get into the Madden foul. Dead the music real quick. Dead the music. Shout out to my OBS getting it done, man. But here we go. So just to start off, we could go to week 6 schedule and we'll see what was the outcomes of these last games. We had Georgia defeating Auburn 31-14. Good game for Georgia, might I say. They're trying to work their way back out of a bit of a hole that they put themselves into. But as you can see, they are starting to try to figure things out, man. They got their quarterback moving. They scored, a nice amount of points. Their defense held Auburn to 2 scores. That is really good because Auburn's offense is a really good offense. They have a really good quarterback who's very talented and capable of doing some things in the passing game. But Georgia really offset that well, only allowing them to score twice and then putting up points. This was a really good game for Cartier Ocean. I do remember that about the game just off the top. Cartier Ocean went crazy in this game. AJ Mullis played really well as well. And it was just an all-around team effort for UGA. Let me see. Let me actually go into that. Make it go into that game for a second. But no, we'll just keep it here. No need to really go that deep into the games because we watch these games and they're all able to be viewed in on our YouTube page. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to catch up on any of those games and get into deeper detail, it's always here on the YouTube, man. You know how we rock in the Moolahverse. We don't skip a game, don't fast sim at all, just not our thing. But moving on, we had Oklahoma versus Ohio State. Ohio State, another team trying to work their way back, beating a very good Oklahoma team in pretty convincing fashion, guys. Ohio State has been dealing with a bit of struggles. They're trying to piece it together. A lot of freshman talent on a lot of these teams, and that's why the inconsistencies are there. We're in our first season as a college series, and with there being so many freshmen, everybody's not going to be able to turn up and be that guy at the moment. It's going to take some development. It's going to take some hard work and dedication. I like to play, the game realistically. I like to approach this thing in a realistic manner. So I'm just not with letting you guys come in and be super 99s and going crazy. It's 4 years of college and you guys can develop. I do have you guys above the average talent as a user coming into college, but even with you being above the average talent, it's still a lot of work that needs to be done to get your player playing at that next level and going over the top. But Ohio State looked really good in that game. JJ Bailey played well. The quarterback played well, got it together. Yancey Rivers, Luzone, aka CT, played good. The defense was good as well, as you can see, holding Dorian Brackett and company to 16 points. So you gotta like that effort there. Shout out to my guy Josuke Kujo. We got some dope things coming up. Me and Josuke got some dope things lined up for y'all, because the later we're getting in this season, that Malcolm X watch list is definitely gonna be on the radar, guys. The watch list will be coming soon. Me and Josuke been working on that behind the scenes. Big shout out to him, man. He killed it with the graphic. I think y'all gonna like that graphic when we get there. I also want to get some highlights in for when we do that Malcolm list special. So I'm gonna get with him and we're gonna chop it up when he has free time. My guy's a hard-working man. But shout out to him in the chat, because we definitely gonna get to that. I want to do like a little highlight section for each candidate and just give you a narrative around that guy headed into the race. So we'll do one video for the 6-week marker, or maybe we'll have to wait and do it at the 7-week marker. Then we'll do another video at around 12 weeks, and then from 12 week on it will be the race, and those guys will be racing. So appreciate you guys for staying tuned, and definitely be on the watch for that. Shout out to my guy Josuke Kujo, getting it done as a player as well as a staff member, man. That guy's the truth. But moving on to the next game, we got Iowa versus Michigan, and Michigan has been on a roll. I actually want to check how many games in a row Michigan has won. Let me go to these standings real quick. That's why I like, being able to jump back and forth. Michigan is only on a 1-game win streak. Okay, so they lost, but I don't know why I felt like they were on a bit of a streak. But nonetheless, that was a big win for them in this last game versus Iowa. We know Iowa is no slouch. Iowa is no slouch at all. Um, yeah, it's very tough to get it done against Iowa, and Michigan came and handled business. Tank Jackson is playing phenomenal. Zion is getting it done. Some things he got to work on as a freshman quarterback, but he's definitely getting it done. And I just tip my hat to him. When even times that he hasn't had the most success, he has been dialed in, focused, and continuing to just progress his player. And being a team guy, he's active still. We have a lot of guys, they go inactive, they start going MIA after they lose or they're not performing well. But one thing I will say about Zion and the Michigan guys, they are not those guys. Tank and Zion really, shouldering the load for that Michigan team, and they got it done. 4-2 right now at the state of the league. As you can see, they were number one in their division. We're gonna go over divisions, but right now we're just covering this. But you did see they were number one in the division, and that's a good place to be with a freshman quarterback, freshman running back leading your team. The sky's the limit for Michigan, and you gotta love it. And then in this one, what a game this was! Florida versus Alabama. Florida came in 4-1. Alabama was 4-0. I mean 5-0. Pardon me. And boy, defensive matchup through and through, but the end of the game was worth every moment that we watched as a defensive game, man. Just tremendous, output from both teams defensively. And then at the end, the offenses really gave us a show to keep us on the edge of our seat. If you missed that game, I definitely advise you to go tune in. Go even watch the fourth quarter if you missed it, man, because it was just a movie. Florida ultimately got it done and stung Alabama, upset them for their very first loss of the season. It was a divisional game as well, if I'm not mistaken, which means that Florida now has the nod over Bama. And yeah, man, that's just tough, man. Alabama, a lot of talented freshmen on that team as well, and for them to even go 5-0 is a very big feat, for any team. So salute, if you will, to Alabama, man. Keep your heads up, but a big salute to Florida as they, got it done, slayed the giant, and now there's no more undefeated teams, just Florida and Alabama, top of the hill, and they are in the same conference and division. So it's super tough that those guys are at the top of the hill, and we'll be fighting, for a slot in the to be number one in the division as well as the conference. So next game we had Oklahoma State and Texas. This one was a bit of a shootout. However, Oklahoma State had the bag early. This was the opening game for the Book of Eli at Oklahoma State. And it looked like he had it for a while. He's been playing tremendous, man. He's one of the guys to watch in the league, and he's just came on about he was late. He came on about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and the kid already has taken the league by storm. This was the second game in the week. Already got Notre Dame a W, but it was looking up until Jason Duncan got in his bag. This kid, Jason Duncan, scored 5 touchdowns in the win against Oklahoma State. 5 passing touchdowns for the Texas quarterback, and that performance was just completely outstanding, guys. And once again, this is one of those games that you just gotta go check out for yourself, man. Don't take my word for it. Go back, watch this game, and it was just a tremendous game. They were down, and Jason Duncan just hopped in his bag. Him and Profit Margins looked really good together, getting it done. And just salute to both of those teams for playing really good. Salute to him and to Book of Eli as well as Jason Duncan for getting it done. They played tremendous football out there, and I just tip my hat to both of them, man. Moving on though, Texas. Oh, let me get back to that game though. Both of those teams are 3-3 now, and Texas trying to get above 500. Oklahoma State was above 500, so they will be trying to look to get back, there. And yeah, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. Spam that like button, man. And tell the guys get in the chat, cause I ain't want to say nothing, but I got another code word coming up for you guys. I'm not gonna give it up yet, but I'm gonna drop that code word somewhere within this podcast. So tell the guys get in the chat if they want that extra 500 SC. Yes, I'm almost giving away a whole freaking upgrade today if you've been in tune, man. So it is what it is, but definitely check in, get the guys in here because we got another code word coming up. But anyway, Oregon versus Penn State. Oregon versus Penn State in a really good game that was actually aired earlier today. Oregon really struggling, and they're gonna continue to struggle. It looked like they kind of had Penn State on the ropes in this game, but Johnny Moolah Marzell, man, this kid has turned doubters into believers. I was actually shocked to see, excuse me, that a lot of guys was pulling for Ronnie in this one. When I asked for the prediction, a lot of guys went with Ronnie. I mean with Johnny. Pardon me, I'm over here saying Ronnie. Johnny Marzell. And early on, he was getting flack for taking the Manziel likeness with the Johnny Marzell, Johnny Manziel thing. But I think that the game of this kid and the attitude of this kid has really turned the narrative around, and now it is kind of working in his favor, man. The kid is really starting to build up some steam and momentum here in the league. His team is at 500, 3-3 as a freshman. I'm not sure that anybody was really big on Penn State coming in, but they're definitely showing that they're not going out without a fight. And I like it. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I don't think that they're gonna be, too crazy, but they may be able to sneak into the playoffs and make something happen. But I'm not really sure on the ceiling of this team yet. When we get into the divisions, I'll talk more about that. But in this game, they definitely got it done to show some resilience. Shout out to Johnny Marzell. Shout out to that receiving core over there with Rome Swan as well as Jalen Johnson. Those guys are looking pretty good, man. As long as Marzell can develop his game and continue slinging it, they should be in good hands. Moving on, Wisconsin, Nick Patton. They call him Vanilla Vic, up against North Carolina, and UNC takes another heartbreaking loss. This team came in 2-0 and was talking that talk, but right now they are not walking the walk, man. UNC really getting shocked, man, in these past couple weeks. 4-game skid right now, and Wisconsin is really showing that they're tough competitors. Only 2 losses on the season, 4 wins. Nick Patton is just playing really good. Ramirez with the running back, you know what's up with him. Really good, consistent running back. They have some decent receivers as well, but North Carolina is really dropping the ball. They like to try to blame it on Jay King, but I'm just gonna be honest, man. I don't think it's all the way Jay King's fault, man. Some of these receivers got to get open. They got to separate themselves from the pack. They got to, take their game to the next level. You can't expect, Jay King to do it all on his own. He's playing good. None of them have upgraded. I don't think anybody on North Carolina has upgraded. And without them upgrading, Jay King has still played really good. 8 touchdowns, I think only 1 interception. Yes, he may check down, but if there's nobody open, do you want him taking risks that may harm the team? Yes, he should start taking a few more risks because playing conservative hasn't worked in their favor. But if he doesn't have the guys around him to make things happen, then that starts to become a question as well. Does he have the guys around him to make things happen, or are these guys just barking to bark? The remainder of the season will show that, but none of these guys have upgraded. They haven't been developing as well as we thought, but it remains to be seen. Is it them killing Jay King, or is Jay King killing them? I think that's the narrative that's beginning to get painted. But Wisconsin Badgers really handed it to them in the last game, and UNC has to figure something out. 4-game skid is not looking good. Morale kind of down right now for those guys, and they got to wake up quickly if they want to, get into playoff contention. We're here in week 7 now, and you don't want to lose 5 in a row at this point, because that is a steep hill to climb if you want to get back into playoff contention. So, yeah, man. Moving on to the next game, you got Ole Miss versus UCLA. UCLA is a very tough team. Kenny Knox, the quarterback, Hazelwood, the running back, and then Ole Miss, how they're coming, the Roche brothers, the Andre Roche brothers, and the head coach, Andre Roche. Those guys are coming, strong every time, and they're continuing to get it done. 4-2 now on the season. And Ace Andre Roche, the quarterback, the big brother of them all, is truly getting it done. Shout out to my guy Samaj in the building. Ace Andre Roche has been playing like him. It's a reason why we had this guy, at our as our cover here in the podcast, because if you watch that game, man, this kid is just separating themselves. When it comes to big playability, you cannot deny that gene in this kid Ace Andre Roche. This kid has big playability. He has vision, and he has a pro level arm as a freshman. That's one thing that I will say. He has a pro level arm as a freshman. I don't think anybody can deny that. A lot of receivers been looking around because they're trying to get next to him in the transfer portal. However, his receiving core has been phenomenal. His brother, Cinco Andre Roche, close, I believe, maybe a relative in Nino Cavacci, also a really good guy. And then Cedric Hill, who no relation to those guys, but a really good wide receiver, man. Cedric Hill is a junior, so it's going to be interesting to see, will he leave for the pros after this year or will he stay? But with the season he's having, he's building a resume to maybe potentially be a nice pick, in the draft after this season. So you never know, man. But Cedric Hill's definitely looking good. But a lot of guys are looking Ole Miss's way whenever it comes to, fitting in and trying to, transfer over with a quarterback that gets it done, take shots, and make shots, because that's what Ace Andre Roche is doing. And shout out to my guy DCP in the chat. Shout out to all the guys in the chat, man. But like I said, they beat a very tough UCLA opponent. UCLA has competed with whoever they have been up against, and gave them a tough battle. So, anytime you get a win against this tough UCLA team, I'm always going to give you, the nod. I'm always going to give you respect. So salute to Ole Miss, man, for that, performance. And yeah, man, they're just putting it together really well right now. Next up, we got Colorado versus Mississippi State. And Mississippi State, they have a really good defense, right? Like, I like their defense. Their defense doesn't give up a lot of points. But in this game, Colorado was able to get it done. And now Colorado is starting to become a team to watch and a team that you have to pay attention to. That's really something that I'm noticing. Colorado has been, playing really tough, really well on the offensive end, led by user quarterback Ronnie Football, aka Ronnie Shanahan. Their running back is a generic. He was a user at one point, but man, these guys have been putting it together really well, and I just gotta tip my hat to the resiliency of this Colorado team. It's looked tough for them at moments, but they've stayed true to themselves, working that game plan. And it's starting to pan out. Their playbook is starting to open up. It looks like they're starting to know what they want to go to and do. And Ronnie Shanahan is rolling with the punches, man. I definitely got to give a shout out to my guy Ronnie Shanahan, because he's been sticking with it. And when your team is 4-2, man, above 500, they up 2 games, you definitely can't complain, especially in a league setting like this where it is super duper competitive. Every team is clawing away for a win on a nightly basis, man. And you just gotta know, once again, tip your hat to a team like Colorado, who has been, through a little ups and downs, and now 2 games above 500. So that was a good game against a tough Mississippi State defense, man. Man, and I gotta say, man, this is dope. This is definitely dope. Next we got LSU versus Miami. LSU was on a 3-game winning streak, man. And coming into this game, we knew Miami would give them a fight because Miami looked good in their last game. Knew they didn't want to fall this game, was trying to keep the uptrend. However, LSU gets it done in a really, really good game. That game was actually just aired with commentary in the face cam today, so you can go back and watch that if you haven't already. But LSU got it done. The way that game ended was phenomenal. The way that game ended was phenomenal, man. Prince Gonzalez and company just was doing their thing. And then late in the game, Sergio Matthews with the walk-off interception for the game winner, just to seal it, man. Walk-off interception late. And that was just amazing, man. I told you guys to watch those 2 corners, to begin the game. And it just went exactly, how I was kind of calling it. And it was just crazy how I was telling you guys to watch out for those corners, and they both made a lot of plays, man. Tevin Hargraves had 2 interceptions for Miami, and then Sergio Matthews had the game sealing interception on the final drive of the game, where Miami was trying to come back and actually win that game or tie it up to go to overtime. So it was definitely a really good game. Maybe a candidate for game of the week. I'll let you guys choose game of the week. A lot of these games are super tough and was amazing to watch if you ask me. But next up we had Texas A&M versus NC State. Texas A&M versus NC State. NC State walks away with a 3-point victory, and this was a battle, man. Texas A&M has a lot of potential on the offensive end, if you ask me. Maybe some things that they got to tighten up defensively because this is a lot of points to give up, 28. But they do have some talent, man, at that QB position, running back position. Even a few of their receivers I like, but couldn't get it done against NC State. And NC State has proven to be a very tough team, man. 2 games above 500, like I said, in a competitive league like this, that is very tough to deal with. And they're really, just starting to string it together. And I like what I'm seeing out of them. QB Rob Edwards looking good. The running back, Justin Thomas, I tell you guys to watch out for him all the time because he's another really good back, if you ask me. And yeah, man, it's just a fun team to watch, if you ask me, when it comes to NC State. These guys get it done. They don't take no shorts. And salute to NC State, man, for doing their thing. USC versus Tennessee in this one, and USC goes away with the victory, 34-31. Tennessee is gonna slide to 1-5, and these USC Trojans are rolling now. They got a wide receiver in Keyshawn Covington, and he actually had a game-winning touchdown, which was crazy. Just knowing that how this guy came in, high energy guy, high spirits, really invested into his player, really, locked in with his player and his team as soon as he came. Just a guy that you can see is very ambitious and want to do good here in this league. And, it's paying off. He got it done in a big time, win. That was a bit of a trap game for them. They've been playing well, and they didn't want to skid to, a tough Tennessee Volunteers team. But they definitely got it done, 34-31. It was a shootout. I would advise you to definitely go watch that game as well. Just so many games that you could watch and pay attention to. That was crazy this week. And next up, we had Washington versus Oregon State. Washington having some troubles, man. Oregon State, Gucci Sambucci was held to a season lows in this game, man. Definitely had a hard time due to that, stout Washington defense. These Huskies play defense with the best of them. If anybody have watched these Huskies play, then you know that this team is no joke on the defensive end. However, they still couldn't get it done. Their offense has just been stagnant. Their QB just looks, like he's not there at times. Not sure what it is, man. He's been missing some team activities as well. So, they're going with the backup this week. Samaj Sims is going to take over for Javon Sims. They're not related at all. It's just a coincidence that they have the same name. But Samaj looks like he's coming in ready to play, ready to try to turn things around. And it is gonna be tough for Samaj, but he seems to be built for it. He came in, he wasn't too upset with the conditions that he was coming into. He still was a high spirit guy, and let's see if Samaj can turn this thing around. He's definitely a quarterback that showed some raw talent from what we're hearing from the Washington coaching staff. They said that he still has some things to work on, but at this point they can't do no worse than they've been doing, and this should be something to shake up the offense coming into week 7. So I'm definitely interested to see how that will fare this week. And yeah, man, shout out to Oregon State though. Sambucci moves on to 5-1, and although he struggled, man, 5-1 in this league is insane. I believe he's one of 3 5-1 teams. Yeah, them, Florida, and Alabama, the only 5-1 teams right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this pans out, and I can't wait. And then the final game review here, we got Notre Dame 20, Clemson at 13. I'm on a podcast, Mama. I'm streaming. Okay, I got you. I'm going to pour you some juice in a few. Okay, I'm going to give you some lemonade if you go play. Sorry, guys. I'm in the house with baby girl. Her mom just left and stuff, so they went out for the night. So doing this podcast and multitasking as a dad. But yeah, Notre Dame 20-13 in that win on the next game. And Notre Dame, man, getting it done. Of course, the Book of Eli was still a starter. Their starting quarterback, though, Jabo, will be coming back. So Jaden Bogner will be coming back this week against UNC just in time for what many would say is a rivalry game. And this Notre Dame team 3-3. Can Jabo get a win? I want to say that the Book of Eli did what he needed to do, came in as a backup and helped Notre Dame get some wins, even if it wasn't pretty at all times. He came in and got them wins. Can Jaden Bogner come in and pick up where the backup, the Book of Eli left off? Both of those guys left some big shoes to fill for each other. But I would say that the book answered the call pretty well, and now we get to see if Jaden Bogner, will answer the call. He's still, I believe, the only quarterback he still holds the record for the most passing yards in a game. We did see 5 touchdowns by Jason Duncan, and we might have seen that by somebody else. I'm not sure. Might have seen that by Roche. Don't quote me on it. We'll have to look it up to be sure. But we did see, some big performances. However, I'm not sure, however, nobody has hit the 500 yards mark. So we're going to see if, Jay Bogner could come back and get it done, man. We're going to see. Can Jay Bogner come back and get it done in the rivalry game versus UNC? That is a rivalry game here in the Moolahverse because these two teams have been at each other since about the start of the season. But in this game, Notre Dame got it done against Clemson, beating them by 7. This Clemson team shows flashes at moments, has some really good receivers, decent quarterback, but then it's sometimes that they really fall flat. So I'm just really interested to see where this goes for this Clemson team. At 2-4, I really still see them at a down slope. I don't see them as a 2-4 rising. So it's just gonna be tough to see how they fare throughout their division. And hopefully they could bounce back and get something going. Notre Dame, at 3-3. Jaden Bogner may be able to get them over the hump. Let's see. Or will UNC finally wake up and rise from the ashes up here at 2-4? So, with that being said, guys, we're going to switch this over. We're going to get my face back in the mix, guys. And this is just before we get into the week 7 predictions. We're going to go to the week 7 predictions, show y'all. So I'm going to keep it on the schedule. Look, and I'm gonna go through the week 7 predictions. They will have like some team stats on the week 7 predictions that will like show half and half of what each team does at what rate and level. So we're gonna go through that now. So we'll stay on the schedule tab just for a moment. And then after we get done with this tab, we'll go into the league leaders as far as statistics and as far as the team standings. So that will pretty much be the bulk of the cast. Once we get through the predictions and then we look over the league leaders, then any questions that you guys have, we're gonna get into those questions for sure. So just wanted to tap in, show my face on the screen for a little bit, and then we're gonna get right back at it. Make it just throw my face on here too while we do this. For now, why not? Let me see. Let me get that video capture on there. Boom. Yeah, we could get this going. Okay, get that on there. Let me see. Let me throw the filter on there real quick, guys. Background removal real quick. Not gonna tweak the settings of the background removal. It ain't that important right now. Make myself a little smaller. There we go. And yeah, so now we lit. I got me on the screen for this little chop it up, because I just felt like it's a bit boring when it's just just the screen there. At least you could see some human interaction where it ain't looking like I'm just talking you through a screen. So now here goes the week 7 predictions, and we could get the game preview. This is why I wanted to do this, because this game preview is really, really dope. Shout out to the Madden modded community, man, and this gameplay tool. I didn't tweak the camera at the bottom, so it is gonna be a little funky. I could have tweaked the settings to make it better, but we just running through this podcast. It don't gotta be as pretty. But right now, man, the Aggies averaging more points than the Hurricanes, more rushing yards, more passing yards. It's just a clean sweep from the offensive standpoint. If you just look at the offense, it's a clean sweep for Texas A&M. And when I'm watching both of these teams have a lot of fight for the places that they are at. But I hate to stick with the numbers and just be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy in this instance because even if you look at the defense, Miami's kind of winning from the defensive standpoint, but I just think that the Aggies' firepower on offense is enough needed to get over Miami. Miami can make plays. They showed you. Tevin Hargraves is no joke. That defensive line could get to you at times and rattle a QB, but I'm definitely going to go with I'm definitely gonna go with the Aggies in this one. I'm just gonna go with the Aggies. I think that's the safest bet. And I'm just gonna say Aggies win versus the Miami Hurricanes. Drop y'all predictions below. Who do y'all got in this game? Do y'all have the Aggies or do y'all have Miami? Drop y'all predictions. Let me see what's going on. I may start throwing some incentives for you guys interacting during the podcast when we asking questions and stuff like this. Might do something like 25 SC. May start to implement something like that soon, just so we getting some some back and forth. I don't always want the podcast to just be me chopping it up. I do have players and let players chop it up and talk they talk in the Discord. I may not do that today just so we could keep it within the time frame and I can get a game going possibly. I want to get a game going, but I'm not sure if I could do commentary. I'm with my daughter and this podcast is already pushing it. She's gonna get antsy soon. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to call a game. So I may choose a game that's good but not too crazy that I want to call. So see the guys in the chat, Aggies. I'm seeing more Aggies than Miami right now. And looking at this game preview, man, I think everybody's pretty much gonna go with Aggies. But if you've seen both of these teams play, you still know that it's any game, it's anybody's game, to be honest. Texas versus Iowa next up. Another game that's anybody's game, and that is a very tough matchup. Texas versus Iowa is a good game. This is going to be a pretty good week because a lot of these teams that are tough are starting to clash now. Shout out to my guy Eli, the book of Eli, man. I was chopping it up about his player just a few minutes ago. He just tuned into the chat because here in the Moolahverse Simulation Football League, this is a place where you can be the game as you see the game. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is AI versus AI experience, but you get to take over a player and go from college to our very custom pro series, man. And if you haven't joined yet, be sure to join in. Leave a comment. We'll get you a Discord link. I gotta get my mods to start getting some Discord links. Let me see what my daughter is doing. Pardon me. Pardon me, my daughter was putting her cup in the sink, and I'm like, hold up, what's that noise? Us dads gotta, get to it and figure out what's going on. But the Longhorns versus the Hawkeyes in this game, man. I think this is a really good game. We got a lot of good games this week, but I was saying, man, make sure y'all join. I gotta get my mods to invite. I want to really open up the channel. I gotta figure out how to do that to where my mods could get the invites. They may be able to, but I definitely have to figure it out. But this Texas game versus Iowa is going to be a really good game. Although these teams are 3-3, just know that these teams are not slouches whatsoever. The way that Texas played in this game offensively late, if they could continue to do that, it is going to be tough for Iowa. However, Iowa's defense is very tough as well. So I'm just they only giving up 198 passing, and that's good for overall average. But now mix that with Jason Duncan's inconsistencies at times, and I don't know, guys. That's what I'm saying. That's a tough game. Let me know who y'all got. Do y'all got Iowa, Texas? Guys are saying Texas. I see one Texas, Iowa, Texas. Okay, another really good matchup, man. Can't call it, might spoil it, but Colorado versus LSU in this one, and LSU 4-game win streak. LSU on a 4-game win streak. Let me see if what kind of streak Colorado is on. They may be on around. No, I don't think they're on a 4-game. Maybe on like a 2-game. I might be wrong though. I might be wrong. Let me see what schedule. Let me see Colorado. It'll be easier if I look from the standings. Colorado. Let me see Colorado. Hmm. Where's Colorado? Pardon me, guys. I don't know how I'm blinking here and I can't find Colorado. Oh, here they go. They're on a 3-game win streak. So a 3-game win streak versus a 4-game win streak. And that's going to be a tough matchup in this one, man. Colorado versus LSU. 3-game win streak up against a 4-game win streak. And I don't know who I want to go with in this one. This is going to be very, very tough. Colorado killing it in a run game, averaging 156 rushing yards a game. Ronnie is a scrambler. Plus, they got a really good running back. And then in a passing game, that's where they offset because LSU's passing game is beating their passing game by far with Prince Gonzalez and company. Colorado got it on 3rd down. They got it in red zone efficiency. They even got it in 4th down conversions. But LSU defense kind of offsets that. Man, I gotta go LSU. And the way Sergio Matthews and that defense was stepping up today, I just gotta say LSU, man, they're on a roll. I say that they go 5 in a row. I say LSU goes 5-2, and that is going to be huge. For either of these teams to wind up being 5-2, the way that the beginning of the season looked, it's going to be insane. And at week 7 right now, this league is just shaping up super duper fun. And I just love the competitive nature and spirit and the way that everything is panning out. But like I said, for either of these teams to wind up being 5-2 at the end of the game is huge. That is huge. That is huge for both teams. So, man, shout out to those guys on those teams, man, for sticking through it, getting through it. And look, man, it's light at the end of the tunnel for them. But I think I'm going to go with LSU in that game, man, just because of how they defense plays, you know, in big moments. They defense tends to step up in big moments. And I got to go with them. Wisconsin versus UCLA. So Wisconsin and UCLA, 2 very tough AI teams, man. You know, mostly AI players, mostly generic players. All generic players for both teams. But I got to go with Wisconsin. I have to go with Wisconsin. It's not just because the record, because both of them are really tough. But I just think it's a lot more consistency from Wisconsin on a nightly basis, offensively as well as defensively when it gets down to the nitty gritty in the game. The Bruins have let a few games go that was in reach, and you know, due to some immaturities, due to, you know, lack of talent and depth certain places. But you know, Wisconsin just showed us that you can't really count them out, and they've been as consistent as can be. So it's looking like a clean sweep in the chat for Wisconsin as well. A lot of guys just Wisconsin, and they said it's the Nick Vick show. They call Nick Patton Nick Vick, man. And that boy's tough. So Mississippi State, that tough defense of Mississippi State versus a Florida team who shocked the world. Oh no, that's not actually the Florida team that shocked the world. That's Florida State. Florida State coming in at 4-1. Florida State was undefeated at a point in the season, but then took a tough loss. And then you know, they're 4-1 right now, and they're going against Mississippi State. And let's see if the Bulldogs, you know, could get it going. Can the Bulldogs get it going, or will the Seminoles continue that roll? You know, they had had a tough loss, but do you see them, you know, could continue in the uptrend after the bump in the road? Who do y'all have? Do you have FSU? You know, they got a talented quarterback in Tyshawn Bryant, really talented QB, yeah, he's been getting it done. He's definitely been getting it done. But then you got the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who at 2-4, you know, got a really good defense. Only give up 18 points a game, but I don't know if they could get it done at a high level, guys. I just don't know. Again, in these type of games, will they have enough offensively to match, you know, a team that can put up 30 points a game? Of course, even if your defense kind of, you know, nerfs the points a bit, can your offense get it done? Because Your defense only gives up 18, but you only score 18. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this game fares. But I think it's still gonna be a tough game because Mississippi State defense is tough. They are not any pushovers. But moving on from that game, we got NC State versus Georgia. And although Georgia looked tough in the last game, this NC State Wolfpack has been playing some really good football. And can NC State get it done? Can they continue to roll, or will the Bulldogs start to rise? That's gonna be very interesting to see. I'm still not sure because the Bulldogs are too inconsistent for me. NC State showed a little bit more consistency, if you ask me. Um, so I think I gotta go with NC State. The Bulldogs have the better offense on paper, but the Wolfpack just for whatever reason just put it together a lot better. And in a winning effort. I would have to go through these teams to see like who they've been playing in what situations, but I think they still beat some really talented teams from what I've seen. So I'm just gonna really have to go with I'm gonna really just have to go with I'm gonna go with dang, this is tough. I'm gonna go with UGA. I'm gonna go with UGA. I'm gonna say that UGA gets it done. I'm gonna say that they get a tough win against a tough team and prove to the league that they're gonna be somebody that you just gotta keep your eyes on because they may start to take off in this next third of the season. So next up, you got Oregon State 5-1. You got Gucci Sambuchi versus Michigan Wolverines. This is another good game, man. The Wolverines 4-2 right now. Got a chance to spoil you tonight for Sambuchi, or will Sambuchi move on to 6-1, man? I've been telling you guys you gotta watch out for my guy Gucci Bucci, but we get to see now if Bucci is Gucci or will Bucci falter a bit, man. Let's see. Will Bucci falter under pressure? His team averages 4 more points than the Wolverines right now, but the Wolverines been getting it together. They've been in that locker room cooking up. Like I said about Zion and Tank, both freshmen, running back and quarterback, but they've been leading the charge for their team. And in that game, let me know who y'all got. Let me know who y'all got. I think I'm gonna have to go with Bucci. I'm going to have to go with Gucci Sambuchi. I don't think that he's going to have as bad as the game that he had last time. I think he shakes off the tough performance against a tough defense in Washington and has a better night against these Wolverines. Not trying to take anything away from the Wolverines defense because, look, the Wolverines defense only giving up 15 points a game. That is outstanding. But I think this is the test for Sambuchi to show, like, can you get it done against a top defense? If he falters against them after that performance against Washington, there's going to be a lot of questions about Sambuchi when he's up against a tough defense. And this is a tough defense. Check out the stats below. Only giving up about 16 points a game, less than 100 rushing, and about 200 passing. So, it's just gonna be a good game, man, because they're only giving up 20 points as well. So it's not gonna be an easy game for either team, but I definitely gotta go with my guy Sambuchi in this one. I just think he bounces back. I don't see Michigan. I don't see Michigan being able to stop him in the second week in a row. So blame Washington for what I feel is about to happen to you guys. And next up, we got Oregon versus Utah. This is kind of like two teams that are just like at this point, man. What are y'all doing? Get these guys. Somebody get these guys a map. These guys got to get it together. These guys are not looking good at all right now. And somebody just got to help these guys figure it out, man. They got 2 user quarterbacks, but look at the points. Look at the offensive productivity. Look at the 2 user quarterbacks and look at the offensive productivity of both of these teams. Oregon only averaging 12 points a game. Utah only averaging 15 points a game. But both of their defenses are giving up points. So Utah is the better defense, only giving up 19. Oregon 22. I'm not sure if this is going to be an offensive game or a defensive game. Maybe a defensive game because their offenses just can't seem to figure it out right now. Look at them on 3rd and 4th down. Look at the red zone efficiency. Not bad for Utah, but the 4th down and 3rd down efficiency is crazy for these teams. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna give it to Utah in this one. Utah at least came out with 2 wins. Trey King shows flashes. I would say Brewer shows flashes at times as well, but both of these quarterbacks haven't really been putting in too much work on the developmental side to show me anything special, if I'm being honest. So it's just like a whatever game for me, but Utah, I think, comes away with the victory. A lot of guys pulling for Utah in that one. And then moving on, we got 5-1 Alabama up against Oklahoma, and this is not going to be as easy of a game as you may think looking at the records, man. This is a tough game to give Alabama after a loss because the Sooners are tough as well. Dorian Brackett and Winter, the running back, is tough to deal with, and Alabama can't sleep in this game. They cannot sleep because it could look like 5-2 and 2 losses in a row like this. That could happen to them in a hurry. If they sleep on these guys, they may be in trouble, guys. So Alabama definitely got to come correct and, bounce back. Don't want to fall into these traps because these Sooners are tough. However, I'm still going to go with Alabama, man. Those user players of Alabama, Duke Davis, as well as, Devontae Moore. I see them wanting their revenge. Jackson Collins, Christian Russell, Hassan Aziz. I just see them wanting their get back and trying to work their way back into this. They also have a terrific defense with Tyke Wells, Kennard Roden, Walenka. They got some guys over there. So can't count Bama out. 5-1. They were at the top for a reason. They were undefeated for so long for a reason. So I'm gonna go with Alabama. I don't see Oklahoma getting the upset, but that's gonna be a better game than guys think. 2-4 Auburn versus 2-4 Clemson. Another game kind of like the Utah Oregon game, where it's like but at the same time, both of these teams show me some flashes on the offensive end, especially Auburn. And I'm gonna go with Auburn in this game. Don't gotta hang too crazy on this. I'm gonna go with Auburn in this game. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with Auburn in this one. Yeah, who you guys got? Let me know. I think Tyler Bledsoe is gonna have a good game. Tyler Bledsoe is a tremendous talent, man, at QB. And I gotta go with Auburn. This kid is definitely tough. So definitely going with Auburn in that game. Not much to say about Clemson. Clemson hasn't really shown me too much. They got a really good receiver who I believe is leading the league in receiving yards. He's had some really good games. He's a generic guy too, not too high overall, but he's getting it done in that system for whatever reason. However, I don't think that's gonna be enough to get them a win. And UNC versus Notre Dame. Many people may call this the game of the week by looking at it on paper because of how much talk and chatter these guys have been, having in the Discord. The Discord is a movie, pardon me, guys. The Discord is a movie, man. If you have not joined the MSFL yet, man, you got to get in tune with the Moolahverse Discord and get in there ASAP because these guys be at each other. It just be fun. It's all fun, loving competition, though. It never gets too far, but it's definitely super fun to, just be part of the competitive environment. These guys are freshmen and they're already at each other building, our own rivalries. So I got to tip my hat to UNC and the Fighting Irish, man, making this game worth something. Because look at these records. It ain't too pretty. But them in the chat and the user players definitely make this game worth something. And if I'm being honest, man, I just think that the Tar Heels is going to get it done. I'm sorry. The return of J-Bo, I know the hype. I know it's going to be there. I do think it's going to be a good game. It is a divisional game. But something is telling me that boy Jay King is going to have a night. I don't know. I think Jay King doesn't want J-Bo to steal the story. There's a lot of heat on Jay King right now from his teammates. The locker room morale isn't where it needs to be. But I don't think Jay King is going to want to let J-Bo come and seal the deal on him. Not a guy who was suspended for disciplinary actions. I don't think that Jay King wants to allow that to be the story. And I think this is just a perfect game to get UNC back in good standings when it comes to the Discord. I think this is the perfect game for them to get a little bit of bragging rights back where they could chop it up, man. Because if they lose this game, if UNC loses this game, it's brown paper bag time. These guys are going to be hiding. I promise you right now, if UNC loses this game, you may not see any of them in the chat anymore. And I'm just being honest. This is not the game to lose if you're UNC, but we'll see what happens in this one. Let me know who you guys got. I'm seeing a lot of Notre Dame in the chat. Um, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Notre Dame in the chat, but a lot of also see guys saying if UNC wins, you know how they're gonna be talking crazy. Yeah, they're gonna be definitely talking crazy, but both teams if they win gonna be talking crazy because there's been a lot of crazy talk all year. But I gotta go with UNC. Man, I think Jay King has a good game in this one. Um, you know, Jay Bogner has a lot of talent and he has a lot of weapons. But I think with the rust, and like I said, with Jay King not wanting the story to be swayed that way so crazy, he's going to figure something out and try to get it done. I think Dre may have a pretty good game as well. I think Dre has been, held back a bit. I think Dre is ready to unleash, and I think he's gonna have a good game. Ace Lewis too. Don't sleep on Ace Lewis because any of these running backs is gearing up for a really big game. And maybe I'll say that the winner of this game is gonna be the winner in the rushing department. I think the run game, whoever opens up that run game first is gonna be the team that's gonna have the most success and probably win the game. I think whichever running back takes control of the game and it makes a play is gonna lead their team to victory. I don't really see it being like a QB narrative as much as it may seem. But I do think Jay King is gonna try to outperform Jay Bogner. I think that is one thing that we're gonna see probably. I'm not gonna say I think that it will happen, but it's gonna be interesting to see them two clash because of the heat that Jay King has been getting, and then Jay Bogner coming off of disciplinary issues. I think it's gonna just be fun to see that clash, man. Who's the better Jay Bogner or Jay King? Let me know who's the better Jay in the chat. Who's the real Jay? We had who's the real Tank. Who's the real Jay? Speaking of the real Tank Wilson. Nah, let me stop. But Tank Wilson and the Huskies going up against the Michigan State Spartans in this one. And this is a must-win game for both teams. If Michigan State loses this game, it's going to be like, ooh, hold on. Now we're starting to see a lot of cracks in the armor of a team that we thought was really good. Still think they're really good, but at 3-2, you're starting to tether that line. You go to 500, and it may be trouble. You go to 500, and it may honestly be trouble. So we'll have to see, what's gonna happen here. But then we got the Huskies, man, in a must-win situation because going 2-5 is also very tough. Going 2-5 is also very tough. Michigan State coming off a bye week. Can they get it done? Let's see. Washington coming in with a backup. Who knows, man? Them Huskies don't give up too much points, though. That's one thing I may say. Michigan State's defense not too bad, only 3 points off of that. But we've seen what these Huskies do on the defensive end. They really play inspiring football on that end of the field. And this is going to be a really good game, man. So Huskies versus Michigan State. And I can't wait to see what that matchup is going to look like. It seemed like the guys is ready. I'm going to go with... This is tough, man. I don't be wanting to lean towards the users just because it's users. And with a backup quarterback, I don't know about the Huskies. I got to go with Michigan State Spartans, man. So I'm going to go with the Spartans in this game. I'm going to say that the Spartans got it. And now, man, we got Penn State versus TCU. Penn State versus TCU. 3-3 Penn State, 1-4 TCU. TCU has had a hard time this season, man. We got Mulan Marzell versus them Horned Frogs. Them Horned Frogs got the talent. They're just not there right now for whatever reason, man. They're just not there right now, and they gotta figure something out in a hurry because 1-4 is not gonna do the job, man. They lose here is gonna be tough. Just when you think about playoffs, losing, going 1-5, and you're thinking about playoffs in an NFL style, even though this is college, NFL format, that's going to be tough to come back from. It is 17 weeks, but boy, 1-5 is a steep hill to climb, man. And then you got the Nittany Lions, 3-3 right now, even at 500, thirsty to get above water. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think TCU may get this though. I think TCU offense may do just enough to, stop these Nittany Lions, but their defense has to do something. They're giving away 30 points a game, guys. 30 points a game, and Mullah Marzell, when he gets it clicking, he gets it clicking with those wide receivers. So I'm gonna go with TCU, but I'm telling you now, if they let this turn into a shootout, it might be GG's. It might be GG's if they let it turn into a shootout, man. So that's gonna do it for this prediction segment, man. We got through that. Salute to all the guys that are still here, man. Big salute. And trick code word here, man. Give me the hashtag salute in the chat. That is the code word of the day, period. That is the code word once again. So everybody that comments salute in the chat, you could throw the little glass emoji as well. But anybody that comments salute in the chat, they're going to get that extra SC for that code word. So drop that salute in the chat once again. We've been going salute crazy ever since that very eventful day, man. So I'm writing these names down, trying to see who gets the salutes. Or can I have a staff member do that so we can continue going through this podcast as well? Can somebody track all the names? We'll keep the salute going till 9:40. We'll keep the salute going till 9:40, guys. So 9:40, we'll keep the salute going to. And if a staff member can you get me all the names that you see saying salute in the chat? Don't want to miss anybody, and I'm still trying to, my brain is still on the podcast. I'm trying to write them down quickly, but still definitely, if you want to get that extra, man, drop those salutes in the chat. Salutes in the chat. So let me know if y'all got me. We got Ronnie. Yo, man, this is why they hate us, man. I got guys. I don't mean to get you guys in the mix. No pun intended. Don't want to get you guys in the mix. But some guys gonna be upset seeing some guys comment salute. Don't get kicked out of any leagues cause y'all comment salute, man. He gonna be he gonna be like, you see? This is what he does. You see? See what I mean? He damages the leagues. He damaging my league. Nah, let me stop. But we're going to head into these standings as the league leaders. We're going to get over these division league leaders. And then we're going to go into the statistical league leaders for, the main categories. But salute to all my guys, man. To start off in this AFC East Conference, we got a three-way tie at 1. All of them are 2-1, and I gotta look through who beat who to really see who's the true number 1. But as it's in the order right now, and the game will have it in the proper order, we got the Sooners at number 1 in the AFC East. Then we have the Longhorns at number 2 in the AFC East, and then we got the Cowboys 3-3. So these guys in the AFC East are in a tough battle. They definitely screen recorded like, look, Mix. Look what he said in his podcast. The code word is salute. Nah, let me stop. I don't care about those guys. I'm always going to have fun. I'm always going to troll. I don't care, man. Get used to it. It's not that deep, bro. I got a baby girl that's in this room playing around, horsing around, having fun. I really don't care about y'all sim dudes. Get your weight up. We the number 1 experience right now. We got the most subscribers. We got the most views. We got the most everything. So step your game up and stop crying, man. We leading the charge in simulation. Shout out to my guy Smitty for taking a break. I got you, bro. I got you, Smitty. I'm gonna take the reins and run with it. I got you. But nah, man. So Texas all tied number 1 right now. Chill, mama, chill. I'm on a podcast. I'm talking. So right now, 3 teams in a 3-way tie right now at number 1. So it's anybody's conference right now. This playoff spot right here, this guaranteed playoff slot is in anybody's hands. All 3 of these teams, between the Longhorns, the Cowboys, and the Sooners, anybody can win. Anybody can win. Even TCU, I would say, has a chance. If they can start getting a streak going, I believe they still got a shot. They 0-3 in the division, though. That's going to make it tough, but they still may have a shot if they can string some wins together in the conference. and they can get some wins on the back end of the second divisional games. So because they lost to each of their guys, so they will have to definitely figure something out in that department. But I do think that it's possible. AFC North, we got a two-way tie at 5-1. We got the Gators at 5-1, and then we have Alabama at 5-1. And the Gators got the advantage right now because they beat Alabama to give them their first loss. And that's why these divisional games in this league is just so competitive, and you got to keep your eye on it. Georgia at 2-4. It's gonna be pretty tough with these two powerhouses right here. But it may not be out the question. Maybe you get some wins, get a wild card. You never know. But nah, yeah, man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But you never know. You never know what'll happen. Auburn also in this division, and this is a pretty tough division. But we got the Gators and Alabama both leading the charge. Moving on to the AFC South, we got 2 4-2 teams. LSU, the hot LSU. 4 wins in a row. The Gators actually got 4 wins in a row too, as a footnote for that conference that we just covered. But 4 wins in a row, LSU, and then you got Ole Miss with 2 wins in a row. Ole Miss is at the top right now. They have the advantage, but woo-wee, Ole Miss and LSU both number one tied right now. And the Aggies right behind them, they're still there. The Aggies are still there. They still can make it possible for themselves, and they have the talent. But the way these two teams are playing, I don't know. Unless the Aggies turn around and start to develop and get something going, it could be tough. Chill for a minute, mama. Stop doing that. That's making a lot of noise. Go in the living room if you want to make noise. So pardon me, guys, for the little clicking in the back. Baby girl's turning up in here. But yeah, man. So we got a nice division in the AFC South, but Ole Miss and LSU definitely leading the charge right now. AFC West, we got Seminoles at 4-1 and the Colorado Buffaloes at 4-2. So the Seminoles, of course, had a bye week, had a week off, but on a 1-game losing streak. So after that week off, after that loss, got a chance to get a bye week, look things over. And I think that they come back pretty strong. But the Buffaloes are on a 3-game win streak and, 4-2 right now. Those two are leading the pack. And I think that it'll stay like that. The Bulldogs at Mississippi State still got a shot, but they just got to show me a little more on the offensive end. And look at these guys, 4 losses in a row, man. They got to start getting it together. That morale is plummeting for the Bulldogs, losing 4 in a row. Tennessee done lost 5 in a row. Just looking at some of these big in a rows right here. But AFC West is in the hands of the Seminoles right now. But Colorado is knocking at their door. Keep an eye on that division. Moving on to this conference now. NFC East, let's see. We got Wolverines at 4-2. They're on a 1-game streak. Big game for them this week as well. Gonna be interesting to see if they could get that win. Then you got the Spartans at 3-2. And then you have the Nittany Lions at 3-3. The Spartans just came off of a bye, and they needed it because they just lost 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row for them. They definitely need to turn things around after this bye week because they were 3-0 and just lost 2 back-to-back. And they're still undefeated in the division, but definitely got to get it together. Their 1 division win was against the top team in the division as well. So that's definitely something interesting to pay attention to. Nittany Lions coming in at 3rd is still, Nittany Lions still got a chance, man. They still got a chance to make things interesting with these 2 teams being on top of them. Ohio State even still has a chance, but they got to get it together in a hurry. Can't be taking bad losses at this point with these 2 guys leading the charge unless they start to falter at some point. So keep an eye on this division. I think this is a really good division. NFC East is a really good division to pay attention to when it comes to this league setting. NFC North, we got the Oregon State Beavers at 5-1. Gucci Sambucci, big game against another divisional leader this week in Michigan. So that's gonna be a big game. They got 4 wins in a row right now, so they're really rolling, getting things going. Can't wait to see if they can put it together and take that up to 5. I of course picked them for the prediction over Michigan, but that remains to be seen. Next up, you got Utah at number 2. So that's crazy that Utah is still in contention like this, even with the terrible record that they got. They had a bye week as well this week. Um, and yeah, they're on a 1 game streak. So Utah at number 2, the Huskies coming in at number 3. So the Huskies still have a chance. This is what I'm saying, guys. The Huskies still have an opportunity to try to get in this second, in this second place right here, and try to string some wins together, get a wild card. You know what I mean? Or even, I don't think they're gonna really compete with Oregon State, if I'm being real. They already lost to them as well. It was a tough divisional matchup, but they did lose nonetheless. However, they're still 2-1, and they have a chance. They just got to figure some things out in a hurry. Oregon, I think they're out of here if you ask me. But still a lot of time in the season. You never know. Maybe they do a historic turnaround and show us something that we haven't seen yet. USC, told you gotta watch out for these guys. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and they just took over the division. 2-1 in the division. That's not the best record, but they have the best record with that division record. So it's just like UNC, told you gotta watch them. Look at them, number 1 now over Wisconsin. Kind of tied at 4-2 though with the record, but they got the nod right now. And it's just gonna be very, very interesting to see how all of this fares. Iowa, this is a very tough division too, because with Iowa, they can still make some things happen, as well as UCLA. So this is still just a tough division through and through. But right now, that says a lot about USC working their way back up, getting it done, going 3-1, and taking over the top of this division. So shout out to them Trojans. They definitely fought hard to get there. And now in the NFC West, we got NC State Wolfpack leading the charge at 4-2. Notre Dame in second at 3-3. So their playoff hopes is still there, man. Gotta watch out for Notre Dame. If they could turn things around and start getting some wins, it may be dangerous. This whole division is still pretty close. So the Tar Heels is not completely out of it either. Clemson not out of it, but with that 4-game losing streak, the Tar Heels got to turn it around fast. And Clemson, I just haven't seen nothing from this team that really just makes me think that they're gonna really do much of anything. Don't mean to sound like that, but I just don't see it right now. Some teams show me flashes with a bad record, but they just haven't even shown me that much flashes, man. I've seen some things offensively at times, but not flashes on a league-wide level. For a team developing, like, yeah, you could take this, work on something, I've seen, but from a league standpoint, not really. Here's just a conference outlook, just to give you guys another outlook before we get into the individual league leaders. Here's a nice little conference outlook right here for you guys to tune into. Yeah, things are shaping up pretty nice, guys. I like the way things are shaping up. Very competitive conferences, and you see the win streaks. Guys are going on streaks. Guys are streaking. Both of the bottom teams on 5-game losing streaks, really starting to show their hands. We got 3 teams with only 1 win, and they're gonna look to turn that around in a hurry. A lot of 2-win teams, couple 3-win teams, a lot of 3-win teams as well, some 4-win teams. So still a very competitive league, through and through from the conference outlook. And then from a league outlook, here goes the league standpoint. Just overall really competitive, man. Both teams that's at the top on 4-game win streaks. And then you got Alabama on a 1-game losing streak at 5-1. So 3 5-win teams, a nice amount of 4-win teams, nice amount of 3-win, nice amount of 2 wins. But it's still, this is gonna be the separation week. And then this week, week 7 to week 10 is going to be really the separating weeks, where we start to see some separation, or we may see some, consolidation, meaning that these guys, go up and down and then still stay even to where we seeing right now, where it's everybody's, anybody's game still. But it could also go in another way where teams really begin to separate themselves between these 3 weeks. So that's all just going to be interesting to see. And then we're going to get into the power rankings before we get into the individual stuff real quick. We get into, hold up, mama. Hold up, mama. Give me 1 second. I'm almost done. Water in there, yeah, you got it. We got 5-1 Alabama. So Alabama still at the top of the power rankings, although they took the loss Madden actually generates this itself. The tools generated based on the roster, based on the strength of schedule, based on who they played, and they still got Alabama at number 1. They do have Florida at number 2, the Beavers at number 3, Seminoles at number 4, Ole Miss at number 5, Tigers at number 6, Badgers at number 7, Buffaloes at number 8, Wolverines at number 9, Wolfpack at number 10, USC at number 11, Longhorns at 12, Michigan State at 13, Sooners at 14, Penn State at 15, Aggies at 16, 17 is the Iowa Hawkeyes, 18 the Cowboys, you got 19 the Fighting Irish, so on and so forth. No need to really go all the way down there. We really usually look at the top 10, but I'll still show you guys everybody. You know what I mean? And nice little top 10 shaping up right there. I like that top 10. Yeah, I think it's anybody in between 11 and 10, honestly. But overall, I agree with this top 10. Yeah, overall, I definitely agree with this top 10. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to me. I like what I'm seeing. Offensive power rankings, you guys can take a look at that. There's no need for me to list that off. You guys see what's going on here. And I think this is very fitting as well. Look at Notre Dame at number 7, although they're 3-3. Told you, got to watch those guys offensively. They still can definitely make things happen. And then no surprise who's on the bottom end of this. And Tar Heels are dead last in the offensive power rankings, man. And that's a sad sight to see with the user players that they had. We thought they had a lot of potential coming into the preseason. It looked like, UNC was going to be the most high-powered offense. But boy, has the tables turned. Definitely shows you can't take that preseason. Got to take it with a grain of salt, I should say. And then if you look on the defensive, and they're going to say Utah is number 1 defensively. Number 2 is the Seminoles. Number 3, the Bulldogs. Number 4, the Michigan State. Number 5, Washington. Number 6, the Buffaloes. Number 7, Wolverines. And so on and so forth. Like I said, this takes into account strength of schedule, who they played, who gave up what points, players that didn't perform. This thing keys in on a lot, so that's why I kind of watch it. Sometimes I think there's certain things that I don't agree with, but for the most part, it is definitely on key and on board with how things go. Shout out to Michael Rivers. He says, how do I get in? The guy should have dropped you a link in the chat, and we got an in Discord application, and there's a couple processes as well. You do the application, you do your player creation, and then you have to be created over a generic, and then you would upgrade your player, so on and so forth. Gaining our simulation currency is called simulation coin. Our virtual currency is based on your activity. And we'll give you the whole spiel in the chat. There's also a $5 commitment fee. We don't want to be just making hundreds of players and guys go inactive, don't check into games and don't develop the player. So the commitment fee is just to lock you in regardless to if you check in or use Discord. So if you don't use Discord, you just get your player in, and you'll have him forever. One-time fee of $5. But appreciate you for rocking with us and supporting us here in the Moolah verse. Welcome to the Moolah verse, Michael. So yeah, now we're gonna get into the league leaders, guys. And we're gonna go to stats and leading the charge yards wise offensively. We got Ace Andre Roche, 1856. Duke Davis at number 2 with 1715. Tyler Bledsoe of Auburn, 1618. Trey Johnson of Tennessee at number 4, 1654. Jason Duncan at number 5, 1613. Dorian Brackett at number 6, 1609. Cameron Bryant at number 7, 1586. Prince Gonzalez at number 8, 1570. Drew McNeil at number 9, 1558. Brock Williamson at number 10, 1557. And then as we go down here, you guys can see we did have a bye week for about 3 teams, I believe. So 14 might have had to been. But yeah, so that's the rankings right now. I just show you guys and go down so you can see where you guys at. Slow this down if you need to. You can pause it, get a better look. But those are the top 10 guys as far as passing yards go. When we go to completion percentage, let me start at the guys with the most attempts. So we got Tyshawn Bryant, which would be at number 1 for completion percentage. Yeah, and then we had number 2, John Wilson. Number 3, Brock Williamson. Number 4, Zion. Number 5, Enrique. So we still got some guys completing passes at a high rate, but that doesn't always, turn around to success. And sometimes those guys are turning over the ball at a high rate too. We'll get into that soon. But these are the guys as far as completion percentage ranks. You see a lot of good guys on there. Now we're gonna get into touchdowns. Touchdown leaders, and Ace Andre Roche leading the charge. 16 touchdowns, guys. 16 touchdowns for Ace Andre Roche throughout 7 weeks. At the 7-week marker, not even throughout 6 weeks at the 7-week marker. So 16 touchdowns for this kid. That's almost more than 2 a game. It's more than 2 a game, guys. This kid is playing tremendous football. Jason Duncan, 14. Duke Davis, 13. Tyshawn Bryant, 13. Marzell, 13. So we got a couple ties there. Knox, 12. Kenny Knox with 12. Eric Weber with 12. Trent Edwards with 11. Couple of guys with 11. Now I'll just go down so you can see this, and you guys can pause it, screenshot this if you want to, so you can have it and just, check it out throughout the week if you need to, just to keep up. Or you can always just come back to this video, rewatch it. That's why I like using this tool. Just super dope replay ability. Should I take my, I could take my picture off right here too, just so you guys can see this all the way through and just see who's where. As far as touchdowns goes, let's go to interceptions. Ronnie Shanahan leading the league in interceptions with 9. However, his team is 4-2, but if he could get that together, he may be able to do some things and help that team go to higher heights. 8 interceptions for Dorian Brackett, 7 for Brewer, 7 for Chase Bryson, 7 for Enrique Parra. This is why he was replaced by the Book of Eli. Tuladawu, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Trent Edwards, 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Trey Johnson, 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Duke Davis, 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Prince Gonzalez, 6 and 5. 2 of those picks were today as well. Got to get that ratio together, but his team is on a nice streak, so you can't fault it. And as we go down, you guys can see what's up. Jason Duncan, 14-5, and he definitely built some separation with that 5 touchdown performance. Him and Andre Roche having their best. I would say they're having the best ratio right now. Outside of some guys, I know 13-2. Yeah, Johnny Marzell, 13-2. Nice ratio for that kid right there. 12-4 for Eric Weber is not bad neither. Kenny Knox, 12-1. Sensational. Drew McNeil, 11-1. So another guy. A lot of these guys playing some good football, not turning it over too much. Most sacked quarterback, John Richards of Miami. Next, Chase Bryson. Then Trent Edwards, Cameron Bryant, tied with a couple of guys as well. Johnny Marzell with 22 right behind those guys. And then we could go into the rushing yards department. Let's go. Michael Smith, the third. He will be getting a name change. A change to a generic. No longer a user. Devontae Moore, 615. 615 yards. Number 3, we got Johnny Hubbard, 590. Drip Britton, number 4, 581. Key Harris in 5th, 573. John Bronson in 6th, 566. AJ Mullis in 7th, 563. Number 8, we got Ramirez, 558. Carlos Thompson at number 9, 506. And Tank Jackson at number 10 with 497. KC right behind him. And then the rest, you guys can take a look and see, as we go down. So those are our Russian leaders, man. Let's see who's the top QBs rushing. We got Duke Davis, 43rd rushing. Nick Patton, Marzell, Tyshawn Bryant, Ronnie. So, oh no, Ronnie's not even leading the charge. Yancey Rivers is leading the charge in rushing yards for QBs, 208 for him. The touchdown. Yancey, he does have 5 fumbles though. Whew. So Yancey got to protect that rock. Got to get that carrying up. 5 fumbles for Yancey Rivers. Let's go to touchdowns for these rushing leaders. And we got Ben Harvin of Miami with 5. Justin Thomas with 4. John Bronson with 4. AJ Mullis 4. Benji Truman 3. We got a lot of guys with 3. Ace. John Wilson, the QB for TCU. Tank Jackson with 3. So he's tied for 3 right now. And he's number 3 right now in touchdowns. Top 10 in yards. Trying to make a case for being the real Tank. And that's going to be an ongoing thing for the season. But as I continue to just go down, you guys take a look at these rushing leaders and let me know what you guys think. And then we'll get into the runs for 20 plus yards. So 20 or more yards. We got 4 of those for Demo, 4 for AJ Mullis, 3 for Drip, 3 for Key, 3 for Hubbard, 3 for KC, 2 for Thomas, Brian. And there we go. There we go. Gotta see what's going on. Fumbles we got. Oh yeah, we seen Yancey with 5. So knew that was coming. And then we go to receiving yards. We got Connor Hicks number 1. This is Connor Hicks of Clemson. So he's leading the charge in the receiving game for a team that's not really too good. So Connor Hicks trying to make his case and say, look, man, my team ain't it. But scouts keep an eye on me. Like I said, this kid is not even too high of an overall, but he's getting it done. Cinco Andre Roche coming in at number 2 with 462 and 5 touchdowns. Him and his brother playing sensational. That's why they are some of the top guys, when it comes to passing yards and receiving. Jackson Collins still in at number 3. He was been number 1 for a while, but kind of slipped off. Like I said, this guy's either hit or miss. He's really either going to kill you or, teams have been bottling him up, sending extra guys and making it hard for him at times. JoJo Cartier Ocean coming in at 442, 4 touchdowns. Profit margins, 441, 3 touchdowns, been having some really explosive performances. Michael McConaughey still sticking in there, 439, 2 touchdowns. Brandon James, 437, coming in at number 7 with 2 touchdowns. So Brandon James, number 7 in receiving yards. Ethan Kright on time. Him and Brandon James tied at number 7 for real. And then you got Cedric Hill, 423. So you got 2 Ole Miss receivers in that top 10. You gotta like what they seen. And then Keyshawn Covington coming in at number 10. My God, made it in the top 10 with 473 touchdowns. Hassan Aziz right outside at 11 with 404 and 3 touchdowns as well. And then the rest of these guys you could just look through. I know there's some users. But you guys can, pause this like I said. Take some pictures if you want to keep up with it. I'm just going to scroll down so you can see the gist of what's going on in the league as far as all the receivers. We got a lot of users in here, so can't just look out for everybody and show everybody or call out everybody's name. But you get the gist of the list. Things are shaping up really well, man. But those are our top guys receiving wise. Let's check out the touchdowns. We got Cedric Hill at number 1. And Cinco Andre Roche tied at number 2. A couple of other guys tied at number 2. Jackson Collins. A lot of guys tied with 5. Tyrese McGrady, Shady McGrady with 5. Jay Rello with 4. So guys are doing their thing. Cartier Ocean with 4. Check out them touchdowns. Guys leading the touchdowns. I'll scroll through this so you guys can see it as well. Touchdown leaders here in the MSFL College Series. You guys could pause this. Let me know if I'm moving too fast or, what I'm saying. If you want to see the full list, you guys can pause it. Go back. Yes, sir. Gonna go back up for you for a minute. Here's the list. Oh, pardon me. Oop, mouse be getting tricky a little bit. But yeah, man, those are the receiving leaders. Shout out to all the receivers doing their thing. We go to tackles. Let's see. We got Bud Simmons at number 1, Paul Jones number 2, Evan Bennett number 3, Keontae Fields number 4, Antoine Weaver 5, Michael Walenka 6. That's a user. Denzel Bryson 7, Randy Darby 8, Kelvin Rowley 9, and at 10, Brian Holiday, Juan Cervantes, the user, right under there. Also got Cole Davis, another user. And we'll scroll down so you can see some tackle leaders, some total tackle leaders. See Demonte Freezer on there. Yeah, man. Guys could pause this too. A lot of guys in the league. Let's see this real quick. And then tackles for loss. 16 for Darren Levy leading the lead. This guy's a beast. 16 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks. This guy's the truth. Paul Jones, middle linebacker, coming in for Texas A&M. Gotta watch some film on him. Randy Ward, Colorado, doing this thing. Gotta watch these guys, man. Gotta keep an eye on these guys. Gotta keep an eye. And this shows you guys they don't be the crazy overall sometimes. 71 speed rusher. Looking good, man. Don't be the overall at times, man. Don't get caught up in the overall. Just gotta grind, get your player better, and make it happen. Look at the tackles for loss, guys. Pay attention to the tackles for loss. You see some users up there. Just trying to really get through this. You know, it's a lot of stats, so don't want to bore you to death trying to go through everybody, but it's a lot of guys in there that's looking good as far as tackles for loss goes and sacks as well. So we're going to go to sacks, 8.5, 7.5, 7.5, 777. So Randy Ward, Alexander Fort, Darren Levy, Terrence Perkins, Aiden Phillips, the user in at number 5, Tremaine McGee, Damian Howard, Shelton Aldridge, Heath Brothers, Lindsey Anderson, Carl Calhoun, and so on and so forth. And the sack leaders here at week 7. So some of these guys almost getting a sack a game. That's just crazy numbers right there, man. That's just crazy work. BJ, you were number 7 in receiving yards. You can always go back, pause it, look through. But you were number 7 in receiving yards. I definitely saw that and remembered that. But check out the guys in the sack department. Guys, we're going to go to forced fumbles. Couple guys with 3, Denzel Bryson, Jalen Peterson, Mike Guy, the safety. He also has some interceptions, so he's trying to show that he's a turnover forcer. Let me just go down for the forced fumbles and show you guys what's up. Let me see. Touchdowns. Got 4 guys with defensive touchdowns. We could have looked at the sack leaders like this as well. We're going to go to interceptions for my DBs. And Sergio Matthews and Tevin Hargrave. That's why I was telling you guys to pay attention. Because it gets tough, man. It gets tough. 4 interceptions for both teams. And 4 interceptions for both guys. A lot of that game was these 2 guys. Like the big moments in that game was because of these 2 guys. So I'm telling you, man, it's been a lot of work in progress, a lot of things happening here, and gotta salute to those guys, man, in the secondary. Gotta salute to those guys in the secondary. Caleb Allen, Sylvester Norcutt, another good guy. LaMelo Brackens, he's an Ole Miss guy. DeAndre Moore, Oregon State. Enrique Knight, 3. Tyke Wells, 2 interceptions, but this guy's locked down. Yeah, you guys check out the interception numbers as we go down. Sometimes interceptions aren't always the story, though. We got a lot of cover corners who may not be catching interceptions, but these guys are locked down as well. Even though pass deflections aren't too accurate, here we go. We'll go through that just so you guys can see it, because Waverly Harris, I believe, would be leading this if it was accurate, if I'm being honest. Let me see. Just show you guys the pass deflections. I'll go back up a little slower than I went down, but this is just for replay value. If you want to pause it, see, where your player is ranked at. Yeah, man. We go to returns real quick. There's a couple of guys that definitely return. This is punt return. They don't have kick. Do they got kick return? Oh, they don't got kick return. They only got punt return. That's crazy. And even though they have it, they're not letting me sort it. DeAndre Carter Parker definitely took one back. Oh, there goes kick return. Knew I wasn't tripping, and this is why they don't let you sort it, because they have both split. And this guy with number 2, Cameron Macy, yep, running back for UCLA. I've been telling y'all, he's the backup running back for UCLA. He took 2 to the house already, and I think he'll take another one back soon. Got to keep an eye on him. But there it goes. That is everything as far as the that is everything as far as the league leaders. That is everything as far as the league leaders. Don't need the music right now. Let me get that camera back active. Let me see. OBS. How you want OBS do that? Be doing the camera, taking the camera off. But yeah, man, that was pretty much it, guys, for the full podcast. I gave you guys every category, kind of went over everything that's important. Drop some questions in the chat. If you got any before we get over it. Before we get out of here, let me know what questions you guys may have. And yeah, man, we'll get to it. I'll answer those. Just hashtag salute. Yeah, boy, it's funny. But yeah, y'all a little late for the code word, but that was the code word to get the extra SC. But let me know, man. Let me know. Let me know what's going on, guys. Any questions? My God, all this just dropped in. Better late than never, man. But let me know, guys. What's going on? Trying to see if I can get that face cam back on the scene. OBS be tripping sometimes, but yeah, they still not letting me get back on here. But anyway, let me know if y'all got any questions, man. Y'all could definitely go back and see what's up. Y'all can pause it and go back if y'all want to see, certain statistical things and all of that. But let me know if y'all got any questions. I would definitely advise going back and watching before you taking anybody word on here. But the most surprising team so far, I would say maybe LSU. Now I feel like I could say LSU. I don't think I expected them to, go on a 4-game streak like this and start turning up, but they starting to look pretty good. So LSU definitely on that list for me. Yeah. I definitely gotta give LSU. Yeah, I gotta give LSU their flowers. I would say that they're where it's at for me. So yeah, I gotta say LSU, guys. Who do you guys got? I would say LSU. I don't think Florida was too much of a surprise for me, only because of who they had at quarterback. I knew Eric Weber was gonna be good. Yeah, I knew Eric Weber was gonna be good, so I can't really say Florida for real, because I really knew he was gonna be good. Yeah, So that's the only reason why I won't say Eric Weber. I mean, won't say Florida. Um, Also, guys, if there's a game that you want to see today, who would y'all want to see out of the games? I guess I could go to the schedule probably and show you. Go to the schedule. Let me go to the schedule real quick. And if it's a game that y'all want to see tonight, who will it be? This is the schedule right now. No, yeah, I can't see Miami versus Texas A&M at the top, and then Texas, Iowa. If y'all was to see a game today, who would it be? It may not be able to be commentary. So Notre Dame and UNC, I kind of want to commentate that game just because of all the chatter. But this game may not be able to be commentary, so I don't know. If it's a non-commentary game, who would y'all want to see? Washington and Michigan State is cool for non-commentary. I'm not gonna lie. Michigan and Oregon State, that's commentary. That's 4-2, 5-1. That's commentary for me. Washington and Michigan State, that may be cool for non-commentary. There any other matchups right here that y'all see for teams that's kind of not like that? It's 10-17. I got my daughter too, so I'm not trying to be fully away. It's almost time to put her to bed. I could throw the game on, watch from my phone, and be in the Discord and stuff like that. But I definitely can't call a game. NC State UGA is another one. So what would y'all rather see? NC State UGA, or like any other guy? Yeah, NC State UGA, Washington, Michigan State. What y'all saying? What y'all looking like? And if y'all got any more questions, drop them in now. Probably like an hour some change over. They said Washington would be a good warm up. Yeah, but I might only show one game. It's already 10, bro. If I start that game at 10, it's gonna be 11. That other game gonna go into about 12. I don't know about doing that. And I haven't seen y'all, like, you probably like the only person active on your team right now. I seen Olin in here too, but I haven't really ran games that late, bro. So I'm just being honest. I probably won't do a second game. I did 2 games today. This would be a third, plus the podcast. So I'm probably gonna do one game. If I'm feeling froggy, maybe at some point I'll do that game. If I don't know, but I just highly doubt it. But I might definitely get that Washington game. I'm seeing more people say Washington as far as those 2 games. Because I would have definitely did that game if y'all would have got more votes than Washington and Michigan State. So yeah, let me know if y'all got any more questions before I go ahead and get that game going. I can start getting that stuff together now. Just to put that game on, chill with baby girl as that game is streaming. It's not a bad game to end the night off with. Definitely not a bad game to end the night off with. And why not? May just throw another code word in that game as well. Keep it going. Keep the code word streak going, man. May throw another one at some point in that game. So let's see what type of activity we could get in there. We get some nice activity. I'll throw another code word in there for sure. I'll just say that. We get some nice activity for that game. I'll throw another code word for y'all to get about another 500. And that game is at Washington, so that's gonna be a pretty good game. New quarterback. Can they win at home? Let's see. The quarterback lower overall than their old quarterback, but they want a new look. And who am I to tell them no? The team makes it happen here in the Moolah verse. So is there any more questions? Who's the broke tackle leaders? Did you could go back and look at that, bro. If I'm not mistaken. You could definitely go. You could pause it and go back and look at that. Make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all haven't already. But yeah, they don't even have broke tackles on here. That would have to be on the Madden file, and that's not really always accurate neither. To be honest, I never really use that as a stat because it's not that accurate. But it's not on there anyway. So um yeah, Washington versus Michigan State. I'm over here making a thumbnail right now, trying to see if y'all got any questions. But definitely be sure to hit that like button on y'all way out, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We will, have that game aired. Hope to see y'all there. That should be a good game, man. Washington trying to figure something out, trying to finally get something going. Um, can they get it done? Can they get it done, guys? Y'all tell me. But we definitely gonna get into that game next. I'll be in the Discord as well. If you guys want to chop it up in the Discord, let me go back to that schedule real quick, just to see. I think it was. Make sure I got the right. Yeah, it is right. Okay, cool. So yeah, man, I'll definitely be in the Discord for you guys if you guys want to tune in and chop it up while this game is going on. Because I'm not doing the commentary for it, we definitely could get that going. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. It's been a really, really great podcast, guys. We rocked out for a while. Yeah, almost 2 hours once again. We always kind of go over the time that I want to, but it's always fun, man, rocking with the community. It's your boy Commish Moolah, man. If you haven't joined the Moolahverse yet, be sure to get in tune, man. We got one of the best communities out there, AI versus AI football. The only place where you can see the game as well as be the game, play the game as the game is playing you. And I am out of here. Peace.